Your time's up. I've been waiting for this to begin. Your time's up. Your time's up.
Well, Gator Nation, it has been about 250 days since we have seen the Florida football team on the field, and the wait is no longer. Right now, today, we have Florida and Utah back inside the swamp. I know everybody's excited. Gosh, we've been waiting forever, and it's a new era here for Florida football. Billy Napier is here, tremendous staff, tremendous off-season. Everybody's geared up and ready for this one. I know things are going to be so rowdy inside the swamp in just a little bit. This is our First and 10 show. It's presented by Wells Fargo. I am Jeff Cardozo, and we're going to give you a lot of the ins and outs, the ups and downs, everything you need to know about game day today. And gosh, I remember a few years ago that Auburn game, how loud it was inside the swamp, and today is going to be exactly like that. You can just see the energy, you can feel it. A couple of weeks here on campus at the University of Florida, things have been awesome. You know what else is awesome? New voice of the Gators, Sean Kelley, is here. So we're going to get started by Sean Kelley talking to the head man himself, Billy Napier, about everything that's going to happen today for the Gator football team.
Coach, I wanted to start our conversation with special teams, but maybe I need to change my vocabulary a little bit. Based on what I'm hearing at practice, it's not special teams, it's game changers. Why?
We're looking to make one game-changing play every week, right? So, you know, when you talk about special teams, it starts with really good specialist play, not just the kicker, the punter, and the snapper, but the returners. You know, they're a big part of the equation. We take great pride in covering kicks, right? Our kickoff cover team, our punt return, our punt team. There's no question that's the second pillar of playing really good on special teams. And then, hey, we got to win the hidden yardage battle. And if you can create a big play return, if you can get a block, you know, these are significant plays in the game. So, you know, we spend a lot of time talking about that hidden yardage battle within each game. And we understand the difference in one explosive play. So it's a mantra. You know, I think we try to have fun with it. We work really hard on it. I think we probably allocate a little bit more time than most staffs do, and we work together. It's a unique part of our culture. I think that's really when you start talking about building a team, special teams, you got offensive and defensive players working together. A lot of your young players get their first opportunity. A lot of your walk-ons may earn a niche on the team. So I love this part of our team. I love that part of the game.
Kickers all set to go, or competition still to be decided?
Yeah, I think we've got competition there. Obviously, you know, Adam had a great spring, you know, fantastic spring game, made 3 field goals, 52-yarder in front of the 45,000 right there in the swamp at a critical moment. Smack's a talented rookie, you know, jumps off of his foot. So I think there is competition there. That may take some game experience, right? That may take a little bit of rotation early in the season. We'll see how that goes. But it helps when your punter is elite. It helps when your snapper is one of the best in the country. And certainly, I think as we go forward, we're going to be in good hands there at specialist.
Absolutely. All right. The season is upon us. 6 of the first 7 are at home, but 4 already ranked in the AP Top 25. And it begins with 7th-ranked Utah. Coach, this isn't some layup that the Gators have in their home opener. This is a true challenge for your football team. Curious as to maybe your initial thoughts here as to how you'll start and do so against Utah?
Yeah, no, I think it's healthy for a team. I like to think every year you have a formidable opponent that has the respect of your staff, but more importantly, the players. We have nothing but respect for Utah. Coach Whittingham, I think, is one of the best in the profession. I think his teams, they play a brand of football much like I would want our team to play. I think they're physical, they're sound, they play complementary ball. They won the Pac-12 in a dominant approach last year. There's no question they've got a veteran team coming back, starting with the quarterback and a lot of really good defensive players. So this is going to be a challenge. They're preseason top 10 in the country. They were the Pac-12 champion and almost really close to being Rose Bowl champs as well. So this is going to be a challenge, right? And I think if you're a competitor, these are the ones that you look forward to.
Kickoff at 7. A huge crowd at the Swamp will be a major factor as well. I know Coach is excited to have that building full and at full throat when the Gators and the Utes get set to open the season again. Coach, thank you so much. This was fantastic learning about where your football team is as we begin the new season. We wish you all the best, and we look forward to our visits throughout the year.
Thank you.
Head Coach Billy Napier, I'm Sean Kelley. We'll see you next time. Thank you again.
All right, Sean, thank you very much. Really looking forward to the first call for Sean Kelley as the voice of the Gators, and of course for Billy Napier to run out of that tunnel for the first time. And when you get into that stadium, folks, make sure you are loud, rowdy, and sustain that thing. 3.5, 4 hours, 5 hours, however you need to do, yell and scream. Make sure you lose your voice when it's all said and done, because that's what it's all about. Well, wherever you're watching right now, we'd like to know where that is, whether you're here in Gainesville or you're all over the country, because as we know, Gator Nation is everywhere. Post on the comments right now where you're watching from, and that way we can get engaged and see what it's all about. All right, well, we hope this guy is engaged throughout the game today. That is QB1, Anthony Richardson. We all know how great of an athlete he is. Gosh, he's hurdling guys. He's throwing 60 yards across his body for touchdowns, running for 80-yard touchdowns, and we certainly hope to see that today. Well, he had a lot to get ready for it. A lot of off-season work in the spring and the fall, and certainly the summer getting ready. So we mic'd him up throughout all this, and now you get to see what that's all about.
Dance moves. Woo! Woo! Ain't nothing new, coach. Ain't nothing new. 2, 3. Ooh, boy, did you just see that footwork right there?
Now go, Mason.
Thanks, man.
Outside, good play, good. Catch the shot.
Boy, good route, boy. Look like me a little bit, but you know how big an elephant is? Let me see this, man. Well, if you didn't know, elephant, like. Give me some love, man.
Well, really appreciate AR for doing that. I think that's the coolest thing. We get to see those guys, but now you get to hear them out in practice, and really appreciate them doing that. It's a whole lot of fun when you get the behind-the-scenes access right there. All right, we're going to continue to have fun here on the First and 10 show presented by Wells Fargo. We'll bring in Kyle Crooks, who is with Scott Carter of FloridaGators.com, and once again, here's Sean Kelley.
Back on the First and 10 pregame show, now joined by the new voice of the Gators, Sean Kelley, senior writer of FloridaGators.com, Scott Carter. And guys, happy football season. It's here, Florida and Utah from the Swamp. And Sean, we'll start with you because this is a very unique game for you. Your first game as the new voice of the Gators. You're going to get a chance to experience the 90,000 in the Swamp. Just what's your excitement like heading into game one?
Excitement's high, and I'll admit I'm a little nervous about Saturday night, or a little later on. I can't even get my days straight. We are actually finally at game day. It's finally gotten here. It's been kind of a long ride to get here, but for the first time in a long time, I'm a little nervous, and I think that's healthy. I think that's okay, and really, it's the caliber of opponent, it's the moment itself, it's the new job, it's the facility. All of it, and let's just go. Let's just get to kickoff, can we?
And Scott, you've been around fall camp. This is such a unique opener. Top 10 team comes to the Swamp in Utah, went to the Rose Bowl last year. Everyone's picking them to possibly be a college football playoff team this year. But on Florida's side of things, when you talk to the athletes and the coaches, what are some of the big storylines out of fall camp going into game one?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, Kyle, this is definitely not your big brothers or dad's season opener for the Gators. I mean, they're going to be tested immediately. And I think, with the new coach, with Billy Napier, so much unknown, a new quarterback in Anthony Richardson. I mean, this is just a great test right out of the gate for this football team. We're going to learn something about them in game one. And, Billy Napier, I can almost see it now, whether the Gators win Saturday night or lose. Billy Napier is probably not going to give away much in his he's a very even kill guy, and he's here for the long haul. But I think the biggest storyline that I take away is just what a great first game in for the Gators in 2022, the Billy Napier era. And I mean, if this doesn't get you excited, I don't know what you're going to get excited about this season, Kyle.
And a lot of excitement around a new coaching staff, Billy Napier. And Sean, you've had a chance to interact with Coach Napier, especially the Gator Talk show that you did this week, and you've had a chance to talk with him a lot during fall camp. What can Gator fans expect just in what they get out of Coach Napier? They hear a lot about the organizational aspect of the Army that he's built and his program that he's built. What are your main takeaways from your interactions with Coach Napier?
Yeah, I think somebody just the other day used the word deliberate, and I thought that was a very good word to describe Billy Napier. It doesn't have a negative connotation. It very much describes his demeanor and the type of program that he is building here at Florida. At the same time, though, I will say that it's an interesting mix with Coach in that, yes, he's deliberate, but yet he's also very personable. I think that he's very good at being in the moment with 1 or 100. And that's a very unique skill set. It's rare to find somebody who's being pulled in as many directions as he is right now to be able to give his undivided attention to whomever that he's speaking to at that moment. So he's deliberate, personable. And I think that we're starting to see with regard to, he likes the word attitude, not culture, but if you kind of go back and look at some roots here for him and others right now that are kind of the next wave of those running college football, you can use the Clemson phrase, and you may be familiar with it, Kyle. They talked for a while about family over factory. Let's not, yes, we want to churn out NFL caliber players, but for us, it'll be more important to have the family aspect over being a football factory. So in some ways you can start to see, that sprout a little bit with Napier and his staff. He's caught some heat or, some teasing about the size of his staff and whatnot. But, just to speak to that just for a moment, Kyle, and the fact that, yes, he wants to have very defined job descriptions for each and every member of this army of coaches and staff. But I think one underlying goal here is that he's hoping to have enough people on his staff from different backgrounds to where a player can find somebody in that building that either looks like them, sounds like them, grew up like they did. They're in a spot where that player eventually wants to be, so that there's a much more of kind of a one-on-one connection or that immediate ally / mentor in the building as well.
And while you have a new head coach, of course, the full-time starter now is Anthony Richardson. Scott, he gets a chance to take the helm. The Gainesville kid gets a chance to start in the Swamp. He talked to the media this week. Where do you think Anthony is at developing as a quarterback? We know what he does with his legs, but in terms of becoming a passer, becoming a leader, leading this offense, Scott, where is Anthony coming into this season?
I think that's been a large focus of Billy Napier and his staff since they got here, was to groom Anthony as a leader, as a voice in that locker room. Billy said it best last week. I think he says he wants him to be the kind of guy that, when he walks into the room changes because he's there. That's what you have to have from your quarterback. All the great ones have that intangible. And I mean, Anthony, we know his physical gifts. all you have to do is look at some replays from last year. I mean, the guy has all the physical tools to be a big-time college quarterback, but does he have the decision-making consistently? Does he have that leadership quality that can inspire a team, in the third quarter when they need a big drive? Those are all things that we're just going to find out together as this season progresses. And I think just, watching Anthony just since he got here to now, you can see he's grown up, and he's kind of one of these guys. He to me, he's a little bit like an old soul. He's not a very loud guy per se, but I think he's coming out of his shell a little bit because let's face it, he knows his importance to this team. He knows his role, and Billy Napier has kind of reminded him of that. And now he gets a great opportunity, and like I said, in game one, to go out there and show some of that growth.
And Sean, you got a chance to do some Gator games at your previous stop, and you did that Florida LSU game this year. And, last year it was evident this team needed some changes defensively. They needed to get better defensively. Have you seen, and we haven't played any games yet, so it's hard to know the answer to this question, but do you feel like the defense is getting ready to take a nice step this year?
If I'm going to be totally honest with you, I'm going to say I don't know. And I think that's only fair because certainly we have knowns in the secondary, especially at the safety position. Dean and Torrance, I think, will make, their 1,000th appearance today, it feels like, for the Gators. Ventrell Miller's return is certainly huge, I think, for Florida. I think we all recognize that last year his absence played a major role in how that defense was going to go, or maybe this case didn't go. But up front, that's the question mark right now. And this isn't going to be some slow learn for all of us. Against Utah tonight, we're going to learn a lot about that front 4/7 for the Gators defense. I think there's talent there. I think Brenton Cox is poised to have probably a very nice campaign ahead. I think there's some names like Sapp and others that will kind of make a mark, but collectively as a unit, I'm not so sure we know yet. And you can't tell a whole lot from banging on each other for a month in August. It'll take something like tonight against a team that is very disciplined, is going to run it right at you and see what you do with it. And then we'll know, we'll have answers by midnight.
Well, Sean, appreciate it. Scott, appreciate it. We're very excited to hear game one for you, Sean, as the new voice of the Gators. And Scott, continued great work on FloridaGators.com. We'll be reading as this football season goes along. Sean and Scott, thanks so much, and enjoy the game tonight. Should be a lot of fun.
Thanks, Cal. Go Gators.
Thanks,
all right,
guys.
we'll send it back to you, Jeff.
So some great insight right there from three extraordinary Gators, and make sure you read FloridaGators.com. Scott Carter is all over it, getting everything done. All right, well, new stuff is happening all over the place. New coach, new voice of the Gators, as you saw right there, and there's a new football facility. My favorite place back in the day was McKeithen Stadium, and now this place sits where McKeithen Stadium was. $85 million. Gosh, tremendous locker room, so many amenities for these football guys, and right now, all of you are going to get to see what it's all about.
Y'all ready for this?
Feel like
I don't think you guys are ready for this.
Yes, sir! Have you talked to him? Yes, sir! Oh, yeah, we in this thing. You're best in the country right here. Best in the country. You already know what we're talking about.
This is the best setup that I've been a part of, and I've been really fortunate and blessed to be at some other places, a few other SEC stops, and just to have your indoor weight room, practice field, meeting rooms, whether it be team meeting, position meeting, everything connected in the same footprint. It's going to be as efficient as a spot that you can be in work-wise.
More than 250 UF donors made this one-of-a-kind facility a reality. Why is it the best setup for these Gators? Well, it's a one-stop shop for the student athletes. Dining, meeting rooms on the same floor as the coaches, state-of-the-art training room, plush locker rooms for the players to prepare for practice, and then get a relaxation time afterwards. They have everything at their fingertips to prepare for a championship.
Going to be the biggest and baddest weight room in the country. We're calling it the Factory. Really blessed to come here and have an office here and work every day and train and develop these young men as football players and men. We have 32 full platforms. It's going to make it a very efficient footprint to get a lot of work done.
Well, ultimately, putting in the work is what Florida football coach Billy Napier keeps preaching. The chance to get better on a daily basis is what it's all about, and the efficiency a single building gives the coaching staff allows them to optimize the time they get with their players.
I think the most important thing is the functionality for our staff and players, to be able to get from the weight room, nutrition, training room, locker room, meeting rooms, then into the indoor practice fields, all within a few minutes time compared to the previous travel time. I think will be a game changer for efficiency, and ultimately that's what helps winning.
All the fancy gadgets and amenities inside the complex are certainly a game changer when it comes to providing a championship experience with integrity. This facility is all about preparing the players to be better on the field and off the field.
You can feel it with our players. They're very appreciative. Everything matters, right? When it comes to efficiency of the building, it's well thought out. The rehab, everything's there. The weight room's right here. It's one-stop shop for the player experience.
And it's not just the football players that get to experience how great the new facility is. All 524 student athletes at UF can utilize the dining hall just inside the main entrance. You got breakfast, lunch, and dinner, providing a nutritious, well-balanced meal to fuel the Gators.
In all my years of coaching, this obviously is the nicest facility that I've been a part of. It's tremendous for our student athletes to have the resources right at their fingertips. Everything that they need is right here in the building. We appreciate the people that put this together for us and gave our athletes this tremendous experience.
So again, location, location, location. And where the Gators want to be located is back in Atlanta at the end of the year, competing for championships. Well, that building right there, a game changer. So the Heavener Complex and so many other people have contributed to that. I think the neatest part is all the former Gators that have made their way inside that new place, and just you see the smiles and how happy they are to know that the football student athletes and really all the student athletes here at the University of Florida, when they get to dine together and do everything together, it is going to be extraordinary for many, many, many years to come. Well, we know this game is going to be extraordinary. We are just a couple of hours away from kickoff. Again, if you are here in Gainesville, get in early. We want you to be loud. We want you to be rowdy. So many things happening, and this atmosphere is going to be tremendous, kicking off the Billy Napier era. We are so excited. We are so ready to be a part of this thing, and we're going to do this thing before game day each and every week. So make sure you tune in to the First and 10 show presented by Wells Fargo. Have a whole lot of different information. You see right here to my left, all the game day information, how you can watch, how you can listen, and certainly how you can be a part of everything. And next week, we'll talk about how the Gators were able to do, and hopefully they can really destroy the Utes here inside the swamp this afternoon. All right, again, I am Jeff Cardozo. It was our First and 10 show presented by Wells Fargo. We'll talk to you next time. Go Gators.